Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Well, in this part of this series, first we'll learn how to build a custom carousel slider. Okay, well, now to do that, first we have to understand how we are going to build it. So you see, you will have pictures like this and the images will have dots like this. Okay, well, of course, I don't have the images yet here. I only have the first one, but don't worry, I'll take care of them later. So now here we want to have these dots, and we also want to have this text, and we'd be able to slide through them, and the dot would show the corresponding slide like that. Okay, so that's one thing we need to know. And second, other thing that we need to know, the layout of this page. So the layout of this page is like this. So this whole page, while it will have a background image, so actually background image would be moving. All right, well, apart from that, other layout stays the same. Well, now this section over here, this would be a row, and in the row we'll have children. So the first child would be a column, and this would be our second child, and that would be a column as well. Okay, so first we'll have a background image, and background image will have row as a child, and within the row we'll have children. So the first child would be this column, and second child would be this column. Okay, so anyway, now to do that, first what we'll do, we'll come over here and create a new folder, and we'll call it pages, and within it we want to save our Dart classes or files. Now within it we'll create a new file, and we'll call it welcome page.dart. Okay, well, this page would be our custom slider or custom carousel slider. Okay, all right, so just now we talked about it. Now this slider would be a stateful class, so we'll do stful, and within this we'd be able to build a boiler template of this class. Now the class name would be welcome page, because our custom carousel slider would be shown as welcome page. Of course, you can use it anywhere you want if you understand how it works. The principle is same. Anyway, so now here within it we need to import some of the classes. That's what we'll do first. Okay, now over here we don't want to use a container first. We want to return a scaffold, because within it we'll use other sections like body and other properties. Okay, all right, now scaffold should return a body, so we'll use the body property. Now here, because we want to create a slider, so now they should slide like this, and to do that we can use one customized one function in Flutter or constructor that's called page view builder. That's what we'll be using. So here we'll call page view dot builder, this one. Okay, now over here I'll close this. So now any kind of builder in Flutter, if you know any kind of builder, that takes two parameters. So first one is the context. So we'll have the default context, so that's what it means for. And in this case, the second parameter for this builder is index. Okay, yeah, so that's what we are going to do, and that's what we wrote. So page view dot builder would help us to slide. Okay, that's the main purpose of this constructor or widget. Okay, because of this we'll be able to slide. Hopefully it makes sense. Okay, and we also want to specify the scroll direction, because I think in default it scrolls left and right, but we want it to scroll up and down. Of course you can scroll left and right, but your image has to be a bit different in this case. So anyway, now here I would do scroll direction. Oh, sorry. So here, over here, I would use the property called scroll direction and axis dot vertical. Okay, all right. And for now, we'll use 3 images for our carousel slider. So I would do item count 3. All right. Now over here, so you want to return a function because of this one. So page builder should return a function. So that's what we are going to do. Or actually a widget. It should return a widget or a function that returns a widget. So that's what we're going to do over here. Well, now first thing we want to return over here is a container. Okay, so your return statement, so we need this one. Now think about this container. So this container should hold these images and everything else inside of this. Okay, so the container should have maximum width and height because we want it to occupy the whole screen. Okay, well, now to do that, we can use the width as the maximum width. So in Flutter, we can use max finite. It will take maximum width for the screen. And the same for height. Okay, so the double dot max infinite. Okay, well, we are almost done. I mean, with the first part, like showing the images. Okay, now here, what do we want to do? Here we want to show the image. Well, within container, if you want to show the image, you need box decoration. That's what we will do. Okay, and a box decoration has image property, and it takes decoration image property, and then within it, once again, image. Now here we do asset image to show the image. Now the images are where? Well, now the images, if you downloaded the code from the link, so you should have images in your img folder. Okay, well, these 3 images. Okay, but we want to define them at the top first. Okay, go over here. Okay, we don't want to read directly from the asset folder, but from here as a list. So we'll declare here list images. Okay, so like this. So we'll make image list, and within the list we'll mention the image names. So let's go ahead and do it. Welcome one.png. Okay, well, to be quick, I'll just copy paste them. So now here, welcome 2 and welcome 3. Okay, so we have this image list over here. Now here we can loop through this list. Okay, how to do that? So we can just put plus and images. Now because page view builder has index and it will run 3 times, it will run from index 0 to 2. So we can specify the index over here. So we do index. Okay, now the error should be gone. And in fact here you can also do images.length. So images is the list, so dot length would give us the actual length. Okay, all right. So well, so far so good. Now what we could do, we could come over here, and now instead of container, we can return as the home our welcome page. Okay, now we need to import it. I think it's auto imported at the top, as you can see. All right, okay, cool. So now this is the time, go ahead and run it. Okay, well, it's starting. All right, our image is over here, it showed up. Well, now what we could do here, well, now we want image to take the whole screen, both width and height. Well, for this property, for this one, we can use another property within decoration image. That's called fit. Okay, and we do box fit.cover. Using this one, it will cover the whole screen. Okay, now in fact, your slider is ready, as you can see. Okay, it's a beautiful slider, but yet very simple. Well, the next thing we see, we want to see how to put those dots as well as the text on the slider. Okay, so that's what we want to do. And we said that those text and dots would be children of this container or part of this image. So this is more like a background image now. Well, if it's a background image, so it can have child because this is in the background image. So within container, we'll define here child. Okay, now within child, we'll have another container. Well, using container, is the benefit is you can specify margin and padding. So that's what I like about container. It's pretty useful. Okay, so first we want to put our text over here. Okay, all right, so now it should have certain distance from the top and the left side. Okay, so for this one we can do margin and const edge inserts only and the top 150. So top 150, so left 20 and right 20 for now. Okay, all right, so next we want to define a row over here as a child of this container. So we do row takes children, we know that. So within it, now here we'll have a column. So first column would show the text we saw earlier over here. Okay, so here we do column. Okay, and once again column takes children. Okay, all right, now the first thing, if you saw, excuse me, so if you saw, we'll have this text, right? We'll have this text. So now we want to make a reusable text so that we'll be able to use everywhere in our app. So we want to represent our text as a widget. Okay, so here I'll go ahead and create a new folder and I'll call it widgets, and within it here I'll create a file. We'll call it apptext.dart. Okay, and well, now here you see we have pretty much three types of text: very bold, little bold, and ordinary text. Also, this is for ordinary text, while the first one is for the bold. So here we're going to create another file and we'll call it app large text.dart. Okay, so first we want to work with this extra large bold text. So first here we want to create a stateless class. So you do stateless, this one, and we'll call it app large text. And now we need to have some parameters. The file or the class will call this one. It will pass down some default parameters or some parameters to it, and we want to receive them. What are they? Well, first one, definitely the text size. Okay, all right, so we do int size, and then what else? The text itself. So final string text, and what else? We also want a color. Okay, all right, well, so we do color, final color. Well, for now they're good enough, and now here instead of returning a container we want to return a text, and we also need this Cupertino library or package. All right, now here within the text itself we want to use the text, the one we passed down from another class, and I think we need to remove this and put this field over here. Now error should be gone, but of course we also need to put other fields property like require. Okay, and we also need one for size, so we do this dot size, and it would ask you to put a required keyword in front of it, and the error should be gone now. So far we are pretty good. So now we'll receive color for it. So here we want to do text style, so you do style, text style. Now here the text style, definitely the first one is, say, color. So color is whatever color you pass down, this color over here, and font size. So well, now whatever the size you pass. Okay, now for font size, actually we can also use a default one. Say size is 30, so this is the default one. Now here we need to remove this one because it's a default one. Okay, it is already given, so it's not required. Okay, Now here for the color, actually we can also change this one. So if the color is given, we'll use that color. Otherwise we'll use colors.black. If color is not given, we'll use a black color. Okay, all right. Of course, maybe we need to change the style here because it's not int, it's a double the size. Okay, now the error is gone. Okay, well, that's it. And what else? We also want it to be bold. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. So we do font weight bold. So for large app large text, we'll have bold. Okay, all right. So now it already became reusable. So what we could do, we can just come over here and call this app large text. So here we'll do app large text. You'll see it's already there. Now we want to use the first one. You see it shows you the parameter. Okay, so only required one is the text, this one. So what you could do, you can pass here trips. Okay, now it could be very beautiful. Now let's go ahead and take a look. Yeah, it's there, beautiful. So because it's reusable, so just as a demonstration purpose, you can use it again and again. Now here you can say discover, and within it you can also use, say, color. Okay, so you can do colors dot say red. All right, now it's there. Well, so it's reusable, but we don't want to use it this one now. Okay, so far so good with the app large text. But as you can see in the slider, we also want another text like this. So what I'm planning over here, this two text will be pretty much using the same widget. So we'll build only one widget for them and we'll reuse. Okay, yeah. So how to do that? So here, this is our app text. Now actually we can copy all of them from here, and we'll make a slight difference. Instead of calling app large text, here we'll call app text. Okay, all right. Now of course here the default size, we don't want it 30, we want it to be 16. Okay, we don't want it that big. Okay, and the default color is, well, we can have a different kind of default color. So black 54, this one, a bit different. Okay, so that's it. And we also don't want it to be bold, so we'll take it out. Now because we already built one, so this one becomes also easier. Okay, now we can use this one over here. So here we do app text. Okay, this one. Now here the text will pass mountain, and over here we also want a size for it. For this one, the default size is 16 if you come over here, but from the picture you can see they have the same size. So here we'll do say 30. Okay, and the color is a bit different. Okay, but we already have a default color, this one, so we'll use the default color. Now let's go ahead and run it and see our application. Yeah, it's there. Okay, now here we want to align them over here. So how to do that? So over here we'll call it cross-axis alignment, this property. So we do cross-axis alignment dot start. So now it'll align them. The beautiful thing about this is that now you can use this one over here for this as well. So this text, they are all reusable. Now we'll be using the same class we created for this one. Now one thing, you see that it has from here, it's not going there, it's cutting off, it's going to the next line. So because of this one, we need to create a container, and within container we'll use this text, app text. Okay, so here we do container, and now why we are using container, because we want to specifically mention the width, because if it's more than 250 we want to fall back to a next line. Okay, apart from that everything else should stay the fine. Now here we'll have this child, and our child would be text. What text? This app text that we created early. Okay, now here it takes parameter argument actually. So the first one is a text, we know that if you hover over on it. So we have this text. So here we would say mountain hikes give you an incredible sense of freedom along with endurance. Endurance test. Okay, perfect. So what we could do, we could go ahead and check it out right away. Oh, it's there pretty much. Well, it's already looking like the way we want, but of course we need to work on it more. And here we want to have color, and we want to use app colors dot text color. Well, now app colors, this file, we need to import it, and we do text color 2. Now what is this app color? Where is this coming from? Actually it's coming from here, app colors, so text color 2. So it's in your downloaded folder, so go ahead and check it. Anyway, so now it's there. So now let's save it. Okay, so the color changed a little bit. Now here we also want to change the text size, so you do size, say 14. Okay, so it's much smaller. But now this slider, if you see, they have a bit of distance, so that's what we want to do now, and it's pretty easy. So over here we'll do sized box. Okay, and we can do say height, say 20. Now if you see, well, it's beautiful, right? So our slider is already working if you take a look. But of course you can also change this text along with the slider. That would be pretty easy. If you want to do that, you can declare another list of text over here, different kind of text if you want, for the headline, for the small lines. Okay, and you can change them as you want. How to change it? It's pretty easy. Just here like this, over here. Okay, over here you can just go through the index. Like if you have text, a list, say a list called text, if you declare a text over here, say list text, so here you'll have some text based on whatever text you want. So over here what we will do, each of them you can access them like text index, like this text index. Okay, and just to remove this part and you should be good to go. But we don't want to do that now. Okay, so we'll skip this part. Yeah, so the slider is already there and it's pretty good. Okay, yes, next we'll see how to create this button. Okay, well, now for this button we also want this button to be reusable. Okay, all right, well, because of that one, now over here we'll come over here and create a button. Now we not only want this a reusable button, we also want it to be responsive. Okay, so that's why we'll call it responsive button .dart. So to do that, first I'll create a stateless class over here and I'll call it responsive button. Okay, now over here we need to import some of the default packages or libraries and we should be good to go. Now here, think about it. so this button, what do you want? Well, now we want this button to be responsive in a sense that the same button we want to use here and here. Now as you see, while their background color stays the same, so we're happy with the background color, well, as well as this icon doesn't change, so this icon is fixed, background color is fixed. Only not fixed thing is this one and the size. Okay, but you see the height is fixed. So what do you want to pass to it? Well, you want to pass a Boolean variable to know if it is longer or shorter. Okay, and at the same time, if it's shorter, how short it is. So you want to pass the width of it. Okay, well, if it's not shorter, if it's longer, actually it's taking all the available space. Okay, so we want to pass two things, the width and a Boolean variable, to know whether it's going to be a short one or a long one. Okay, so that's what we want with this. Now over here, what we'll do here, we'll create a variable, we'll call it bool is responsive. Okay, and now here we also want to pass width. Okay, so we'll call it double width. All right, now of course we need to initialize over here. Let's see. Now let's see. Well, now we also want this to be optional. Okay, you may pass it or you may not pass it. Okay, all right, and here let's see, is responsive, this dot is responsive. So the default value is false. Okay, and we are good to go with this. All right, so now here, what do we want? Okay, the first one we want to have, okay, for now we want to have a width. All right, okay, and say the width, whatever the width you pass, use that one. Okay, and height, but now height we want a pretty fixed height, say 60. Okay, and within it we'll also show this image and this text together, but sometimes just the text, sometimes image and text together. If they're together, so it's more like, say, in a row. Okay, in a row property. So here we'll have a child, within the child we'll have row, and it will take children. Okay, now as you can see from the both buttons, image is a must one, so image is always there. So we'll use image.asset, this one, and within it we'll pass the image. So what is the image over here we have? Well, we have an image which is called button1, so that's what we want to use. Okay, so here what do we want to do? So here we want to create the button name, button1.png, and we should be good to go. All right, okay, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. Okay, for the button. Now of course, as you can see, it will have some border. Okay, so here we can create border, we could do decoration, we do box decoration. Now here we'll have border radius, and border radius dot circular, say 10 for now. Okay, and it will have a background color, so we'll use app colors dot main color. Okay, once again, this is coming from our color class over here. Okay, all right, now with this we have a pretty interesting button. So what we could do, we could go ahead and check it, run it. All right, and we want to see how it looks like. So we'll put the button right below it. And now if you see over here, there is a bit of distance. So first we want to create a distance. So we'll just copy paste this one, put it over here, and we'll have a extra height over here. Now we'll call it the button app large buttons or large text. Sorry, responsive buttons. Responsive buttons. Okay. Now over here, even if we don't pass anything, let's see what happens. Okay, well, it's there. Okay, so the button already showed up. That's pretty good and comforting. So now here, well, now we didn't pass any width over here, but actually we can pass a width. So now let's go ahead and pass a width over here and see. Say width 120. Now let's go ahead and check it. Now it's a bit bigger, right? Larger. But now here the problem is it's not centered. So we want it to be centered. Okay, so now over here we can change it. So we could do the main axis alignment dot center. Okay, now it's centered. Okay, well, now we'll see how to draw these dots, how to draw these 3 dots. Okay, all right, as we said earlier that we need the 2 columns in the row. Okay, well, look at this. Now we already have the first column. This column is showing this one, so we want the other column over here. Okay, all right, so now we'll do that. So we'll have column for dots. Okay, now within it we'll use children. Okay, and well, now we are not going to use this list operator over here to put children. We'll use actually another convenient function, the function that shipped out of the box in Flutter automatically for you, like this one. Okay, list.generator is very useful. So here we want to have 3 dots. Okay, and now for each dot we want to return a container. Okay, so that's all we want. All right, so we do return container, but actually I don't like to like this. I like this way because I can have a new line. So I would do container, and we need to have semicolon because we are returning. Now look at the picture. So this picture over here, if you see the dots, well, they have certain border. Okay, yeah, and the length. Well, so that's what we need. First we want to assign them width. Okay, say for example width is 8. Now if you look at the picture, you see its height is changing based on the slide. So we need to have a height, but dynamic height, right? But anyway, so for now we'll say put height 25. Just let's go ahead with this and see the result. And then we want to have a decoration because we want to have border. Okay, so we'll do border radius, and we'll have border radius 8. Okay, and we also need color, so we do color, and we use app colors dot main color we saw early. Now over here we'll go ahead and run it. Okay, so it's there, right? Well, now we want to push it to the end over here. So now once again we can use this row property, and we can use a property called main axis alignment and main axis alignment dot space between. So it will try to create all empty space between these 2 columns or these 2 widgets. Okay, now it looks perfect. Of course, here is this 20 because of this one. All right, yeah. So now our dots are there, but as you see, it's not dynamic. So first thing we want it to be dynamic. Change the color and also change its position. Well, now because of this one, we all get 25 height for our container, but we want to be dynamic. So as we slide over, we want it to change the height, okay, and the current slide should be longer height. How to do that? Now here we can use one of the properties that we already have. So like item builder, because of item builder keeps tracks of the index, whatever the index we go through, we can compare this index within this loop, okay. So in that case, actually we can change the name index slider or index dots, okay. Now over here we'll do a check. So index equal index dots. So this index is for the dots and this index is for the slider, and if they are equal, then we'll use 25, otherwise we'll use just 8. Okay, so it looks like it's already working, as you see, but now they're too close to each other. In that case, we can apply margin quickly. We'll do bottom margin, say 8. All right, well, I guess 8 is too much, so 2 is okay. Now the other thing we need to do, we need to change the color, and if we do the color, actually we can, just like using this one, we can still use this condition using iterary operator. So index dots, if they're equal, we'll use the main color, otherwise we'll use a different color. So we'll get from app colors dot main color with opacity, okay. We want to use a bit with opacity, so if they're not equal, they will have a little bit different color, as you see now. So pretty good, right? So with this, we are pretty much done with our custom slider, okay. All right, well, next we'll see how to build this page, okay, this one. Well, this page has this bottom navigation part, so we'll focus on building this bottom navigation part, and after building that, we'll build this page. Anyway, so bottom navigation bar should include this one, 4 items. So these 4 items, they should have their related routes or 4 pages. So once you click on them, it will take you each of the page, okay. All right, so to build this bottom navigation bar, first we need this list of routes or list of pages, okay. So that's what we need. Well, now to do that, first we'll go ahead and create a new file, but now this new file, I'll put it in a new folder. So here within this pages file, I'll create a new folder, and over here I'll call it nav pages, okay. Now within nav pages, first I'll build a file, dart file. I'll call it main page, okay, main page dart. All right, so what is this this one would do? Well, actually this main page dart file, it would hold everything in this screen, as you can see. So it also means that it would hold these 4 items on the bottom navigation bar, okay. So this page would hold everything, and once we click on each of the item, it will take us to a new page. Based on the click from this page, we will go to new pages. All right, so now saying that, so this is also our main page for displaying everything, as well as this page, okay. So this button or this item means this page. So now what do we need to do? We need to go ahead and create these 4 pages. So we'll simply go ahead and create them very quickly. So what do? We would come over here and create new file. So the other file, I'll call it bar item.dart, okay. Well, the name is coming from here. It's a bar item, item or search page, and my page, okay. All right. Well, I think we could refactor the name here with bar item page, okay. All right, now over here I will declare other 2 pages or files, dart files. So one is search page .dart, and the other one is my page .dart, okay, cool. Now here within it, we'll just simply have some very simple content to show based on the click, okay. All right, So what we'll do now, we'll go ahead and create some stateless class over here. Okay, well, for search one, I'll write here search page. Okay, now within it we need to import some of the libraries, and then here within it, say I'll return a child as a text. Okay, and here I'll write search page. Okay, now over here I want to center it, so I'll wrap it around another center widget. Okay, now we are pretty good with this. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this part. So we're done for search page. Now we'll go to my page, and here we'll do stateless class, and we'll just copy paste what we did early. Now over here we need to import this class, this library over here, and over here we'll call it my page. Okay, all right, and we also need to put it down there. Okay, now the error should be gone, and here we need to have this return statement. All right, okay. So if you want to reorganize your code, you can do Option Command L on Mac. Okay, anyway, so that's it. Now we will also go ahead and create a very quick stateless class for this one. We'll call it bar item page. Okay, now over here we'll copy the content. Oh, sorry, the content from my page over here. Okay, but of course here first we want to change the name. We'll call it my page. Now we'll come over here and copy paste this one. So instead of search page, over here we'll write bar item page. Now we need to import other libraries. Okay, we are pretty good. So our navigation bar over here would need 4 pages. Well, 3 of them are already done, and this page is also our main page. So now we'd go ahead and work on this page as well as this bottom navigation bar. Okay, now as I said, bottom navigation bar would be over here in this file. So here we'll create a stateful class. Okay, now here we'll call this name as main page. Okay, all right. Now over here, instead of returning a container, we want to return a scaffold, because we want to have a body, and within the body we'll have this section, and scaffold has another property that's called bottom navigation bar. For that property we'll attach this one, this 4 sections somehow. Okay, all right. Now first we'll go ahead and work with the bottom navigation bar item property. Okay, bottom navigation bar, this one. So what I will do, I'll go ahead and close this, make it bigger. Okay, now over here, definitely if you hover over on it, you'll see that it says that it should take over here a widget. Okay, and the widget we should use, that is called bottom navigation bar. Okay, so we do bottom navigation bar, this one. Okay, now over here, if you hover over on it, you will see it takes list of items. Okay, that's the first thing we want to take care, list of items. So what is this list of item? So now this list of items should contain these things. Okay, yeah, so these 4 items, it should contain these 4 items. All right, yeah. So now here, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and create this list. So simply we'll just call here items. Okay, as you can see, it takes a list. Okay, so now of course it should take the list, but where is this list coming from? Okay, and what are the things we should put in the list? But as you can see, if you hover over on it, it says bottom navigation bar item. So the list type should be bottom navigation bar item, right? So that's what we should have. So now here we'll just simply write here bottom navigation bar item. Okay, this one, right? So now it does take an icon. All right, now the first one we want to take this icon. Okay, this icon, but now we do have a similar icon over here, so that's what we'll use. Icons icons dot apps. Okay, the first one. Okay, and it should take another property that's called title, and simply we'll call it home. Okay, and title takes a text, so we'll just go ahead and simply call it home. All right, and now yes, we are good. So here we put a comma. Now I'll copy this one 3 times. Okay, now here we'll change the name. Here we'll call it bar, and here we'll call it search, and here we'll call it my. Okay, now we will also need to change the icon. So over here definitely we'll call it bar chart. Okay, well, I think bar chart sharp, this one. Now for search we can simply use an icon that's called search. Okay, and for my page here we will use an icon. This is called person. Okay, so well, now with this 4 children in the item list, we are done. Well, do remember, well, anywhere you see in Flutter pretty much that has the word bar, like tab bar, navigation bar, or tab bar view, they should take a list of children. This is a common property in Flutter. Wherever a widget has a bar, it takes most of the time a list of item. Well, as I said, so they take list of children. Now each children is clickable. That also means that once you click on them, this bar item should take you a certain page. Okay, so that's what happens here. So for each of the bar item, we'll have a related page where we can navigate to. Like if we click on the first one, we should go to this page, which will show this one. For second one, we'll go to a second page, third one for third page, like that. Okay, so we need to create them pages in a list, but already actually we created them. As you see, these 4 pages like bar item, search bar item, and my page. Okay. All right, so now what do we need to do? We'll need to go ahead and create a list and put this classes in the list. Okay, so that's what we'll do. So here we'll do list, and I'll call it here pages. Okay, now it should take 4 routes or pages related to this one. Okay, well, no, the first one we'll do it a little later. So the second one, it's called bar item page. Okay, all right, the third one is over here, search page, and the fourth one is our my page, right? Okay, now we need to import the related packet libraries for this. Okay, done. We have 3, so last one is for this one, this one is for this one, and bottom bar is for this one. Now this one is very special because this would be our default page, but of course we need to go ahead and create the page. We didn't do it yet. So for the whole app, this is main page, so that's why I wrote here main page, but the content should be coming from another route or another page for this icon. So we need to go ahead and create that as well. So that one, we'll call it home page. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll go ahead and create a file over here, and we'll call it homepage.dart. Okay, now over here we'll create a stateful class, and we'll call it homepage. All right, now simply over here right now we'll just return, say, a container for now, so that you get the idea. Okay, and now over here we'll import the related packages and libraries. Okay, so well, this one would be responsible for showing all of them over here related to this button. Anyway, so now we'll come over here. So here we'll just simply write home page. Okay, and we need to import it. All right, okay, so far so good. Now what we could do, we could go ahead and run it and see the result, what happens, because we have 4 pages. All right, and related to those 4 pages we have this bar items. But one last thing before we go ahead and do it, we need to attach this list. Okay, attach this list over here in the body section of scaffold. Okay, so now here we'll write body. Okay, now body takes a widget in Flutter within scaffold. Okay, so now here I want to pass this first page. Remember, this home page is also a widget. Okay, so class is widget in Flutter most of the time. So now here simply I'll return this one. I can return it like this, pages 0. So pages is a list. It will find the first item. First item is this one, and within it will return a container. Okay, all right. So now what we could do, we could go ahead and run it. Okay, of course now over here within our main file, for now instead of returning welcome page, over here we'll return main page. Okay, once we are done with the whole app, we'll connect all of them together, but for now we want to go to this page directly. All right, now let's go ahead and check it. Okay, now over here we don't have any error, but if we come to our main page, look at this. So we do have everything. Now here our bottom navigation bar is visible. As you can see, it's over here. Okay, and now if you see slightly, we also do have the colors over here, so it's visible. All right, well, if you see now these colors, the label and the icons, they are not visible, so we can change the color. And to do that, first what we could do, we do show selected item color, or let's see, selected item color. Okay, so selected item color for now we do colors dot black. Okay, 54. So now if you save it, so the first one is selected, you can see. Now at the same time, for unselected item we also have a color, and this one we'll use gray. Okay, all right, and we can use gray with opacity 0.5. So okay, so now there is a big difference. All right, now we don't want to show this names over here, like as you can see, so we want to get rid of the names. So here we will do show selected labels, false. Okay, and show unselected and selected label both set to false. Now the name is gone. All right, okay, so far so good. And now there is this line over here, we can also get rid of that one. We do elevation 0. Okay, well, now we'll work on the tap event. Okay, well, for that one, first we need to define a tap function, because if you come over here and hover over on it, you see it has a tap on tap function. Okay, so first we need to create a function outside of this build method. Okay, we'll do that. And over here we would call on void on tap. The function name is on tap. And now over here, well, on tap should have index. It should receive an index from the caller function of this. All right, so what we'll do here, we need to check well, now bottom navigation bar, it takes an index as well. Okay, so if you come over here, you see current index 0. Okay, all right, so now over here we'll set the current index. Okay, well, one thing though, well, current index is 0, actually that means you find this page, so you can go ahead and run it and check it. Now of course no change, but now if we change the current index to 2, it will come over here. Okay, all right, so you see this is the default one, unselected one. All right, yeah, so it found my search page, this one over here. All right, yeah. Anyway, so now what we'll do, so we need to have certain index saved over here and pass that index to this place as well. Of course, we also need to pass this on tap event. Okay, so here we can define another variable. and we'll call it int current index equals 0, the default one. It could be anything you want. Now over here we'll do set state function, and with set state would have current index value from this one. Okay, so this one, once we click a certain thing over here, so that index would be passed down to this one, then we save it, okay, to this variable, and after that actually here we can pass this one. Well, the naming looks same, but you can name them anything, it doesn't really matter. So next we need to bind this onTap event with this onTap event. Okay, so here we know that it takes onTap event, and here we just simply call onTap. Okay, so now what is this index? So whenever you click on any of this, okay, so that index is sent down to it directly. That means send down to this one, and this one later on sends to this one back. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, so now you'll be able to click them. As you see, now they are clickable. Okay, all right. Now here, as you see, you want to set a certain background color to it, but if we do that, it won't work. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it. So over here, we can set a background color. Do background color, say colors.red, but if you see there is no change. Now that's because bottom navigation has a property which is called type, and it takes a value, bottom navigation bar type, and actually it takes the this one, shifting, which is the default one actually. Okay, well, because of this thing, it shifts. If you click on them, as you see, it shifts left to right like that. Okay, now because of this one, the default background color is still there, so we can override it. Here we can override by typing fixed. Okay, as you see, now they won't change. I mean, they don't shift left and right. Okay, so you need to override this one if you want to set certain background color. Anyway, in our case, we'll set it white. Okay, now the background color is white. As you can see, it's different from the screen color. Okay, but now we want our screen color and background color should have the same color. I mean, bottom navigation background color and screen color. So here we'll set up the background color. We would do colors dot white. Okay, yeah, now it looks much better. But now there is another problem. So if you try to click down there at the bottom, it shows an error. Okay, now because your label is gone, but it's just invisible, but it's still there. So when you click on this, it creates this problem. So to get rid of that problem, what you can do, you can do unselected font size 0. So when it's 0, actually it's not clickable because the size is not there. Selected and unselected all set to 0. Okay, now as you see, there is no error if you try to click at the bottom. Okay, so now the error is gone. Okay, well, now here there's another problem though. So we're setting the current index, but we are not changing over here. Okay, we also need to change the index over here. So we do current index. Okay, now let's go ahead. Now you can see, actually you can see the pages. All right, so once you change the index over here, so we need to change index here, these few places, and also pass down the tapped index to this one. Now with this, actually we are done with our bottom navigation bar building. Simple and beautiful. Next we'll see how to show this page for the home page of our bottom navigation bar. It means for this one. Before we go ahead and start building the page, let's look at the page structure. Okay, so this is the page we are going to build. So as you can see from here, it's pretty much all in column and row layout. Okay, so this would be a big column, and within the column we'll have row, this one, so this would be all part of rows, and then we'll have page view builder or list view builder, and then once again we'll have these things. And we already built this one, and we already actually done pretty much all the work for this page. For example, we already know how to display the text, this text